momentarily, and it looks like it is. Alright, hi everyone, TigerHawk23 here. Python today. You may notice that the title of the stream currently says parts 15 and 16. How do I know before I've done it? Because I already wrote it. After part 14, I was getting feedback on it, and someone said, can we get a list of how many winners there are per day for lockbox ships? And I said, no, not currently. And the reason for that is, as we will see, self.winner equals winner. I added this. So if there is no winner in version 14, the 14th commit on GitHub, it was none if there was no winner. And now, if there is no winner, it uses the empty string, which can be searched with regular expressions. Very handy. Same for interaction. It was just being none. And now you can search it with regular expressions as a string. And check for membership in a string. You can't do if none in a string of something. It doesn't let you. And you can't do if a regular expression is matched within none. Doesn't let you because it isn't. But you can do it with empty strings. So these 6 characters and those 6 characters. Now that works. And printing out loot that may involve lockbox stuff, meaning not contraband and lithium and energy credits, which is what we've been testing, means that you can get non-ASCII characters in the output. And so I also changed Unicode printer to be easier to use. Notice that it's star args and with a default separator space and a default end of a new line, just like regular print. And now I can call it just like the regular print function, with this and that with the separator. I also use it here and here and here and there. Not in Dabo, because that's just a bunch of integers. That's it. And average per day also has Unicode printer, just in case. So those are all the changes. I separate most of the arguments and the last one from the arguments. And then, you know, I try printing it, and if it doesn't work, try printing each character in it, etc. And same for the last argument. So, what now? Now I will show you how to use it. Because if you haven't been following along for the last 25 hours or so, it won't make any sense. So let's do that. Here's what I will do. We're gonna go here. And this way, I can do this. I can be, okay. I can run this dealy. And, I can even run it from the source file. Most likely, when you are running this, you will have a zip file called STO LP 16_win32 or win64, and that is a packaged source file. You can just run the exe executable, and then it just runs, and you don't need Python or anything. It includes everything you need. And I'm not going to run it from there because I want its starting folder to be right here. So I'm going to double click this. It'll be the same as if you were clicking the executable. And that gives us this thing and this thing. Move that over there. So this will have nothing. unless you did something with the until you have output in some way. And so this is where things happen. I'm gonna go File. Since I don't have anything else to do, first I have to get some logs. I think I have some saved ones somewhere. Still logs here. So this is a sample of what the folder of your chat logs will contain. Chat, and then underscore, and then a date, and then a number that I have not been able to figure out. It's not the hour, as far as I know. So let's pick the first one. And keep in mind that when we pick one, it will parse that one and everything else to the end of what's in chat. So let me see if I can show you an actual list. Here we are. So this is what it looks like. No, not yet. Logs, game client, this is where they are, by the way. Program files, Perfect World Entertainment, and that's the x86, probably. This is for Windows. Perfect World Entertainment, Star Trek Online, EN, and the date of the patch, I believe. The date of the installation, more or less. Star Trek Online, Live, Logs, Game Client. That's the logs for the game client. And so notice I have a couple of these that start with an underscore that are old versions of logs with combat log data in them, and they're very large. Notice how they're like 12 meg, very big, but the rest are pretty small. There's chat, etc., and then it goes into other stuff like client server com and combat and errors, crash, make shader bins, a whole bunch of stuff, but it will only look at the chat. And that's all I have in this folder over here. So I'm going to pick the first one. I'm going to be like, yeah. Notice how nothing happened? That's because all we did was pick the folder. And now we have to pick what we want to do. And at this point, since we don't have anything else, we're going to populate. And look in this window over here. Populate. Processing, and it's telling you where you are in the log files. And then it's done. Great. So now we can do things. What things can we do? Should I explain these first? You can save once it's populated. You can save that populated data to be able to load it back in later more quickly. And you will name it anything you want. I have one over here that ends in PKL. That's just the way that it's saved. It doesn't matter. You can call it anything. You can call it something.hello. And I have named it with the file name of the most recent log file that is included in that parse. So you can save it. Oh, that's okay. I didn't account for going cancel there, but it doesn't matter. So there's already a bug. That's cool. Very easy to fix. It really doesn't matter. I want to fix it. Anyway, I will write some notes. Okay. And you can do the same thing with load, and you can load the file that you saved. So you open the program, and then you load your file, and you don't have to populate. Do not do that. So just save, and then you can load it later, or choose a log file and populate, or if you want, you can load saved data, and then choose a first log file, which is the first file that isn't included in that save, and then populate, and it'll just add it on. So that's good. Let's do things. Key and value. This is the key of a filter, and this is the value of a filter. So what do we have for keys and values? We have many things, and I will show you them. Where's get? Here we are. Excuse me. Let's go back to this. So we have item, and item is the item that you got or lost in a loot event. This is basically, we have it later, but there is a gain item and a loss item. So you can search by gain item, and it will only include in your results loot events with a gain item of whatever you specify, and same for loss item. What item does is it says if it was either a gain or a loss. This allows you to do something like energy credit totals, and if it's just item, and then it will be net values instead of only what you got and only what you lost, and then you have to add them in Excel. This is net values, so that's handy. That's why I added item. Regex for regular expression searching. The way it usually works is we would have something like gain item, and then you do contraband, and then you could do various things. So what this does is it goes through each loot object. The way it filters is if the item gained in that event is found within this string. So if you have, for example, dilithium, this will include dilithium and dilithium ore, because the dilithium is found within both of those. If you want to say one thing or another, like pass tokens and contraband, then you use the pipe character, pass token or, and that's with the backslash on most keyboards, between the backspace and the enter key, and it's shift backslash. That's how you get that. It's called the pipe or bar character, pass token or contraband, and it doesn't extend out. It's okay, I don't care, because you can go there and see. So it's fine. Pass token or contraband. So for this one, the gain item has to be exactly one of these. It has to be exactly pass token or exactly contraband. If we did dilithium, this would not include dilithium ore, because dilithium isn't the same as dilithium ore, and pass token isn't the same as dilithium ore. Gain item. What else can we do? Now, if you want to, I should mention first the regex flag. If you want to search the other direction, if you want to say, I have something that's found within the gain item or whatever you have, like you could do wait. Yes, if we had dilithium ore, this would show us results with dilithium and dilithium ore, because it's going if the gained item is in this value. But if we do this, and we do regex, and for a flag, you can do, for the value, you can do anything, like 1, or 1 potato, 2 potato, I don't know, just 1, it's fine. 1, and then what this will do is it will treat this as a regular expression and search for it in the gain item. So if your gain item is dilithium, it says, yeah, dilithium is found in that. And if your gain item is dilithium ore, that's found in there as well. You could also do, let me think of an example. If you're not familiar with regular expressions, it allows you to create patterns for searching in strings. It is very powerful and can be difficult to read, so I recommend trying to keep them simple. Like, what can we do? How about phaser array, right? Mark 4, right? What if we don't know if we're looking for array or dual beam bank? Then we could do this. Array or dual beam bank. And then we're searching for something that has somewhere in it, not necessarily at the beginning, but phaser, and then array or dual beam bank, and then mark 4, just as an example. Another useful example is one of the filter items is winner. If a loot event was someone winning a lockbox item and you getting a gameplay announcement, which will appear in the log regardless of whether you have them turned on or off, you can do the following. The dot character in this particular regular expression language, which is Python's, also known as PCRE, Perl compatible regular expressions, because they're also used in Perl and Python just uses the same one. A dot means any character. So if there is a character in the winner, then it will include that in the results. And this in particular means that we're looking at all the lockbox winners. So that's handy. Let's do the following. Let's look at more of these things. Min date and max date. If you want, you can do min date, and this will specify a minimum date to search. Let's say you have logs for the entire month of May, and you're only interested in the first week. So the minimum date is 2016 5/1. It's just go by descending order of time increment, year, month, day, hour, minute, second, if you want. 2016, and separate them with a space. 2016 5/1, and you go max date 2016 5/8. Easy. Easy. Same. Oh, I'm not showing you. Sorry. So we have min date 2016 space 5 space 1, and same for the max date. You don't need to have both. You can have only one. If you include only a minimum date, it will go to the end, and if you include only a max date, it will start from the beginning. We have minimum and max gain and minimum and maximum loss. So notice that the maximum loss is a large negative number. So if we want to say let's say we want to search for dilithium gains that were larger then no, let's do something else. How about say we're searching for Latinum gains, gold press Latinum. Everyone loves future money in a post-scarcity economy. It doesn't make any sense. It's the future, right? So we would do, let's see. Let's say we only wanted to look for large Latinum gains. So we would do min gain is 500, and this will exclude items with gains of fewer than 500 for the quantity of whatever it is. How about a max? Let's say we want to only look at, let's say we're interested in how worth it is to do duty officer assignments that are kind of basic and reward 5 dilithium on a win, and how worth it is to do them if they don't succeed. If they have a very, if they have a low success chance, we want to say, is it worth doing those or not? You could say min, max, loss. That would be min gain again. So no. Let's say you were looking for energy credit stuff, and you want to say, sometimes I gain chunks of 200,000 from Admiralty stuff, and I only want to look at things that were probably sold to a vendor, and that's generally like 37,000, thereabouts in that neighborhood. So let's do, we could do a max gain of 40,000, and this would exclude probably a lot of exchange sales if they happen while you're logged in. If they happen while you're logged out, they don't exist because they're not logged. They don't happen. So keep that in mind. So if you want to see how much you get from selling stuff to the vendor, that's the filter you would use. Let's go back here. Min loss, max loss. Same for loss. If you want to see only energy credit expenditures of 1 million or more, you could do a min loss of negative 1 million. And that would probably just be, are there, I don't recall whether fleet project donations are included in the log. I don't remember. I think I tested it at some point, but I've forgotten. But for sure, exchange purchases. You want to say, what stuff did I buy with this? Or actually, how much did I buy? Because I think it just says you spent this much, you made a purchase successfully, and then you acquired a what's it. Doesn't connect them. It's kind of annoying. And then there's more stuff. What else have we got? Things you can use as filters. Oh, let's not forget some of these. We don't use that. We don't use that. Oh, here's a good one. UTC. If you look at your dilithium gains per day, you might see values that are possibly 0 sometimes when you swear you're refining every day, and values that are double the maximum of what you can refine. And the reason that happens is because you You may have done it kind of skewed according to your local calendar day, but it was okay for UTC because that takes over at midnight UTC, that time zone. So what you do here is very simple. UTC, and it does have to be capitalized, is 1, just to turn it on, kind of like the regex value. Just turn it on. 1, potato, I don't care. Potato is the superior flag value. Sales loss. By default, when you're looking over a list of loot stuff, it will not show you the item that you sold when you made a sale. Or else, say you want to get the totals of how much energy credits you got, right? So it'll total up all the things you earned and all the things you lost, possibly. You can look for a gain item of energy credits, and when you sell something, that loot event has a gain and a loss. It's the only kind that does that, to my knowledge. So what ended up happening was you got so many energy credits this day, and you sold auxiliary battery and shield battery and saurian brandy and some beam arrays and a whole bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter. That's why you sold it, because it was garbage. So by default it will not show, but if you want it to show in a context that makes sense, such as average per day, I believe, does this, and average per day, totals by day, cumulative totals, those 3 first functions have this flag. So if you want, you can say sales loss 1, and that will include in the results things you lost when you sold them. I wouldn't recommend it because it's garbage. I think that's pretty much it for filters. So the useful ones are min and max date, min and max gain, and min and max loss. UTC I highly recommend for dilithium refining, which is when you receive dilithium. Refined dilithium is something else, because the loot message for when you refine dilithium is you refined such and such dilithium. So dilithium is what you got. When you spend it, it says you spent refined dilithium. It's silly, but that's what happens. The winner, if you want to look for that. Oh, also there is interaction. Interactions include, I can show you some of them. Lost, placed a bet of, discarded, spent, sold, didn't win any. So this might be good if you know what you're looking for, but you can use it, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say stick with gain item, probably just item is good. Regex, UTC. Those are the most convenient ones that I found so far. And yeah, so what can you do with these? What can you do? I'm gonna take most of them out, and I will do gain item contraband. and I will do average per day. And now we have in the output daily averages. Item and average value per day is contraband, and I get 35 per day on average. Handy. So this is tab delimited output. It's just going to the next tab stop in the console. I would recommend actually running this and redirecting to a file or piping to the clipboard, or else you'll have an interesting time formatting it. The way you do that is, I can show you, for example, echo hello and pipe to clip, and then enter. Where did hello go? It's in the clipboard. Paste. Hello. That's all it does. So, yeah. Now it also included the enter in this one, and so it went hello and then hit enter. A new line character. I didn't really want that. That's okay. So you would run this with the name of your file and the proper place that it's already in. So you would do, let's put that in there, .exe. You would do STO LP, what was it called? 16? Let me check. Nope. STO Loot Parser GUI. .exe. So you do that, and then you can pipe it to the clipboard, and then when you're done and you close the program, it will dump all the output into the clipboard, or you can redirect to a file, my output dot txt or .xls. File extensions just tell the computer what program you'd like to use to open it. So you can do text, and it'll open with like Notepad probably, or you can do XLS, and then you can open it with Excel or similar spreadsheet programs like LibreOffice, Calc, and it'll generally understand that you want to do that. You want to open it with a tab delimited thing, or you can just save it as a text file and then copy it from there and paste it into a spreadsheet, or you could pipe it to the clipboard in the first place, and then when you close it, it'll put it in the clipboard, and then you paste it into the your spreadsheet. It's very good, very nice. So this is just to show you what happens. Gain item contraband, great. But how much did I get per day? That's when you want totals by day. 11, 55, 12, 42, and it has the date, and it has the value. Let's say I want also, notice the pipe character, contraband or dilithium. I should spell it right. Thank you. Now let's do average per day. Great. Average of 51k dilithium. Let's do totals by day. 626 over 100,000. I can't refine that much. Do you know why it's doing this? Because it's going by local time rather than UTC, Universal Time Coordinated, which used to be called GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Notice how there's none over here. Didn't refine any dilithium, but yes I did, because the next day I have 104,000. So let's do UTC, totals by day. Now it makes a lot more sense. Yay. And what does cumulative totals do? It'll have 11 and 626 for the first line, and then 48 and 56,626 for the second line, and it just adds everything up. That's what that does. And then you can track, instead of how much you got per day with like graph like that, you'd have something trending upward, and then you can have fun with that. I don't know, whatever. It's a thing. It's something I've had to do in a similar context before, so I included it. Including the kiddlies. If you have time, look up on YouTube Data telling a joke to Jordy. It's funny. A man goes into a store and says, "Can I have a pound of kiddlies, please?" Etc. I won't ruin it any more than I already have. What you can also do, gain item with UTC is 1. I will show you energy credits. I can take out the UTC because I don't care. And I will do average per day, it's smaller. And we see 1, 423, 520. And now let's do just item. Now recall that this says if the item gained or lost is this thing. Let's do average per day again. And it's a little lower because I spend some energy credits sometimes. Wow. So that's net, basically. Let's do winner is dot and regex is something. Totals by day. So why did I get a huge gigantic thing? Because there are many types of lockboxes you can win. And this includes all of them. Whole bunch of stuff. And the each localized version of a ship is separate because they have different names. Like for the English client, Ferengi, Decora, Marauder, and for the German client, Ferengi, Decora, Marauder, with hyphens because it's localized. That's great. Herald, Quaz, Flugdeck-Cruiser. The German names are much, much cooler. By far. Thorianischen Radnitzspinner. I'm saying it wrong, but it sounds awesome already anyway. So, if you were piping to the clipboard or redirecting to a file, you could paste this into a spreadsheet, and it would have, it would be a spreadsheet. It would work because they understand that you can say delimited by tabs because there are no item names or anything with tabs. It doesn't exist. So that would tell you that on the 15th, I personally saw, meaning I was logged in while the event occurred, no Benton assault cruisers being awarded, 1 Elachi Sagulth escort, no Marauders, no German Marauders, 1 Quaz cruiser, no Dreadnoughts, etc., and so forth. 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24 kinds of ships. And here they all are. And you can do whatever you want with those. You can sum each column, you can sum each row. Summing each column will say how many of this ship type were, let's see if I have that. Winner out 3. Does this? I think this is the right one. Let's all wait while it opens. Is it going? I think it's going. Yeah, there we are. I use LibreOffice, not Microsoft Office, because LibreOffice is free and open source. And here's what we get. It's tab delimited, and this is what's it separated by? Separated by tabs, and it will look pretty much like this. Then we say OK. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? None, 1, etc. And then at the bottom here, we can say this is a formula, which is common for many spreadsheet programs. Sum all of these. Yes, there was only one. And then we can select this. And goodness gracious, that's a lot of ships. And edit fill to the right. In Microsoft Excel, that's Control R. And so we see we have 5 insectoid Olane ships, 1 Thorianus Radin spinner, 1 Zindi Aquarian and Arsene Dreadnought Trigger. And notice this character with the umlaut over the A. That wouldn't display properly in the console. So redirect to a file works better. Average value per day, etc. You can get all sorts of stuff. And you can do equals sum. Go this way, this way, this way. Only go there. Great. 7 ships were won on this day. On this day, people got 7 ships. And then you can fill down, which does have a shortcut, Control D. 10 ships, 17 ships, 19, 9, 15, etc. That's... Note again that this is what my account saw, because you only see these notifications if you are logged in when it happens. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. What else do we want to happen? Oh, show you other stuff. Cumulative totals, lockbox winners. There's also this function. Let's do a min date of 2016 5 20 and a max date of 2016 5/25, so only a few days. And then we export lockbox winners. And this is a specific list of the names of people who won. And that's what that is. And we have the date and the winner and the item. So we have the date and a tab and the winner and a tab and the item. This is backwards. This is date, item, winner. There's going to be another version. Writing in my notes. That's what happens. What else have we got? Dabo. So Dabo losses and wins is exclusively for playing the Dabo minigame. It is not all gold press platinum or anything like that. It's just gambling. Export Dabo losses and wins. Bet this much, won that much. Spent, or your amount of whatever you had, of whatever you bet, was increased by -100, and you got 15. Note that you can spend EC, that's energy credits, or platinum to gamble with. I explained in a previous segment of this, don't bet platinum. You will end up losing everything. Because it's gambling. The house always wins. That's why casinos are fancy. Because they have money. Your money. But if you want platinum to do stuff with, you gamble energy credits. And only energy credits. At one point, the wiki said that Dabo is a way to turn energy credits into Latinum, and that's what it is. I think the optimal bet is the slots are 9, 0, and 27. I don't know why, but that's what I do because the wiki said so. Is there anything else? Double losses and wins. If you want, you can make a fancy chart. And yes, that window did just move very quickly because I use auto hotkey to use the mouse better. I can set, I can do this. I can switch between two places. I can go to the center of either monitor, and I can save locations. Pretty cool. Anyway, what was I even doing? Documents. And I have a spreadsheet of my loot. And there it is. So I was interested in contraband, dilithium, dilithium ore, and energy credits. This is how much you refine, by the way. These are the average per day. This is the actual quantity per day, and I have these in these, what's its subtitle? That's not what I wanted, whatever. So here we can see how much dilithium and dilithium ore I refined or gained respectively per day. Dilithium is pretty constant. I think from this, yeah, I excluded the first line because that's an incomplete day that I logged. So dilithium is pretty steady because I refine at or near the limit most days. And dilithium ore, sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes a bunch more. I think here I got a bunch of KDF 10 out of 10 Tour of Duty Admiralty rewards, which are 30,000 dilithium on a couple characters. It's pretty good. What day was that? Dilithium ore, probably this one. Yeah, 23rd, 25th. So there's that. Got a bunch. And then hardly any at all. What day is this? Oh, I think it's because it's smoothed, so it goes low. And then I got a whole bunch. It's a little more accurate in this because it's just straight lines connecting, and it's also dilithium ore. So pretty steady, pretty steady. And then I got a whole pile of it because I turned in the crystalline event thing on 7 characters, and that's 350,000 dilithium plus what I regularly make, 391,000 a day. So I can look at that and be like, neat numbers. Fantastic. Energy credits, I have a separate graph for that. I don't think I'll be explaining a whole bunch of how to make a spreadsheet, because that's how to use spreadsheet programs. Most likely you already know. And if not, you can Google those, whatever specific one you have. LibreOffice has its insert chart button over here. Excel has, in the insert ribbon, you choose chart. Pretty basic stuff. This has a secondary vertical axis because I'm tracking things in the tens of thousands as well as things in the dozens for dilithium stuff and contraband. And that's pretty much the end result of doing stuff. And this will not, I was going to write for the title of the stream parts 15 and 16 final, but I'm like, it's not going to be the final one. I couldn't think of anything else to make or write for it, but now I can. So open the empty file, that's in the wrong order. The title, not really big stuff, but there you have it. Let's put that there. Forgot that I had the wrong thing. That's what the YouTube live stream interface looks like. Let's put that up there. Great. Now I can go back here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's a reasonable explanation. Let's get these things back up here. Switch back to that. So, that is how you use this program. Little summary. If you've never used it before, you need to choose the first log file. You can also pass it to location. STO Loot Parser GUI.exe, and then after that you write the location of the first file. Like what's this one? Here's one. You do with a quote, because there might be spaces. Log. So you run that, and it will automatically select that file as the first file, and you don't have to do file, choose first log file. So if you make a batch file or create a shortcut that says run this file with this argument every time, then you can just do that. But if not, then you choose the first log file. And once you've chosen the first one, you populate with that file and all the rest. If you want, I recommend saving, and after you've closed it and reopened it again, you can load that one in, and then choose the first log file that continues on the first one that isn't already in there, and then populate that one into your program. And various flags, item, regex, UTC, and they can be, whatever, contraband, or turn those on, or you can have winner being something with a character in it, all manner of stuff. I think that's a good basic overview. I don't have a written manual for this yet. Where can you get this program if you don't want to compile the source from the GitHub repo? Makes sense. I have these packaged executables on my website, which still have the very small minor problems, barely noticeable, on that you saw. There will be a later segment fixing it and making a new version, just FYI. But if this one works well enough for you, and you're okay with that, then you can use it. and I will put a link in the description as well as an annotation right here. And here's where you can see a link to the package source files, why not? And then to the 32-bit Windows version. And then a link to the Windows 64-bit version, depending on which one you want. 32 bits probably fine, because I don't see it using more than 2 gig of RAM. That would be a long time of logs. It uses how much RAM does it use right now? Back to this. It uses 23 meg. I think it starts at like 17. Let's close this for now. So it was 23, and what will it be now? Remember that. 23. And what's it? 23. Oh, it starts at 15-ish. Then once I populate all those, it goes to 24. So 10 megs for what, 10 days or something? Let's double check that. 10 megs for 2 weeks, 5 megs a week. It's about 200 to 250 meg per year. So to use more than 2 gig, it would have to be going for like 7 or 8 years of logging every day. Not incredibly likely. I mean, you could load your data multiple times, and then would just be like, if I had my 15th to the 29th data and I populated that, it would put that in there, and then I could populate again and would have the 15th to the 29th and the 15th to the 29th. It would just be, it can do that. I wouldn't recommend it because it doesn't make sense. But I think that's it. It's a decent-ish explanation of how it works and what you can do with it. If you have any questions, you can comment on this video, and I will try to explain whatever the issue is. Or if you find a bug, I mean another bug, because there already are, I saw. If you find another bug, or if it doesn't work at all for some reason, tell me things so that I may fix them, hopefully. Or if you're using it and having a great time, also tell me. That would be great. So I think that's it for today. Tomorrow is going to be a gaming stream of some kind. I have no idea what. 2 times ago, I played Armorines. It's terrible. Yesterday, I played League of Legends. It's not terrible. Maybe I'll play Dota 2. I don't know. It's not terrible by any means. I just don't quite enjoy it because I'm really, really bad at it and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm slowly learning little bits and pieces. Little bits. Like now I know where the secret shop is, for example. How fantastic is that? So that is it for the stream for today. Comment if you want to say stuff in my general direction. Questions, bug reports, feature requests, whatever, comment here, or I don't know if you can send messages in YouTube still. Is that a thing? I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this segment, which was not very much coding and a lot of video tutorial-ish stuff. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.